Well, welcome everyone to tonight's public forum of Georges River Council. I declare this public forum open at 6:05 p.m. I will start with the acknowledgement of country. I would like to acknowledge the Bidjigal people of the Eora Nation, who are the traditional custodians of all lands, waters and sky in the Georges River area. I pay my respect to elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples who live, work and meet on these lands. Notice of live streaming of council meeting. I'd like to remind everyone that this public forum is being recorded and broadcast live to the public on council's website in accordance with section 5 of council's code of meeting practice. The recording will be made available on council's website. Now, before I start with our public forum and our speakers tonight, I just wanted to say welcome to everyone in the public gallery. Thank you for coming along tonight. This is the first time we have held the public forum in this way. We have a new code of meeting practice and we'll be trialling this for 6 months. The objective of council is that we can continue to ensure the maximum participation of our community in informing councillors before they make decisions on matters on the agenda. If any councillors have any questions that are arising out of any of your addresses tonight that you make to us as councillors, we have until 5 o'clock tomorrow. We can submit subsequent questions to the council staff seeking additional information, and the answers to those questions will be published on council's website on the council meeting day, so that information will be made available and transparent to everybody in the community. So just wanted to touch on those couple of things first to address the change of procedure, and I will now commence with the public forum. I'll remind speakers that you have a 3-minute time limit when addressing council. When you hear the first beep, you have 1 minute to go, and at the second beep, if you could conclude your comments. Our first speaker tonight is Mr. Kevin Kelly, speaking in person on CCL 13525, and that is on the closed circuit television in Georges River. Mr. Kelly, if you'd like to come up to the lectern, and you can press the button on the right-hand side. That should turn the microphone on. You just press the, nope. Yep, there you go. That's it.
Okay, I'm here tonight to discuss, and we've been down this road several times, about our War Memorial at Penshurst. The War Memorial at Penshurst is unprotected but I mean that by CCTV cameras. The memorial itself was built in 2011 at a cost of about $500,000. Since then, we had cameras on the memorial since 2011, and unfortunately the cameras over the road at the IGA store stopped working, and the new owner of the IGA won't let us get on the roof to fix them. So we come up with a plan to put up 2 new cameras, one either side of the memorial, just shining straight down onto the memorial, not on the footpath, purely on the memorial. Unfortunately, the council, in their wisdom, have knocked us back every time we've come up with it. We've had meetings out there with the council, including yourself, and it just doesn't make sense. I mean, everywhere you go in Hurstville, you're under CCTV cameras. The argument you're saying is it's going to take pictures of people walking past. That's not what the idea of it is. The idea is to protect the memorial. There is seats in the memorial for people to come and sit in. There is everything there. The memorial itself has won several different awards, and we are dead frightened that it's going to get damaged. As of last 2 weeks ago, Mortdale RSL got damaged. Vandals had packed the memorial down there and have done a fair bit of damage to it. And it's only a matter of time before they start on ours. All we want to do is just get permission to put 2 new cameras, one either side, and then we'll monitor it down at the club. We're going to pay for it. We've got the funds put aside to pay for it. We will pay for it. We will install it. We will monitor it. There is nothing the council has to do about it. So that's what I'm here.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly.
That's it.
Thank you. It will be debated at next week's council meeting. The item will be discussed next week when we have the council meeting. Thank you. Our next speaker is Dennis Bindon, speaking in person on CCL 00326, item COM 00326. That's the Ken Rosewall Tennis Centre Management Agreement. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, councillors and staff. My name is Dennis Bindon. I've been the past president of Tennis New South Wales. I'm the board member at Tennis New South Wales for 20 years. I've been the past secretary of the Illawarra Suburbs Lawn Tennis Association that controls tennis in the St George and Sutherland Shire areas for over 100 years. I did the last tender for Illawarra Lawn Tennis Association at Rockdale that has 18 courts. I did the tender for that organisation, and the base price that council usually works on is anything between, say, 10,000 and 14,000 per court if they're looking for tendering out tennis courts to applicants. Now, even on 10,000, the council should be making money. If they've got a good infrastructure that built them, the court should last a long time. And then council is making money. Now, if they're up to 14,000 and council is getting applicants at 14,000, I suggest the council be very, very careful on those prices. You have 2 tenders at the moment. I think you may have had more. These 2 tenders is actually a chalk and cheese. I cannot believe that we got to this stage 4 months later, that this should have been decided months ago. I can only presume that of the 2 tenderers, one had a most beautiful or a most professional business proposal. The other one I do know of is a community proposal, and I would suggest that that is probably down. We deal with Voyager at Illawarra, and we have trouble there because it's run as a business proposition. That means you're on the phone, you book on the phone, and you cancel on the phone, and you get credits if there's a washout. At the Ken Rosewall Tennis Centre, we get calls. If the courts are wet or look like wet, we all get a call and say the courts are wet, you don't have to turn up. The Ken Rosewall Tennis Centre is like a kindergarten. It's like a primary school. It's like a high school. It's like a university. Kids start off at a young age and come right all the way through to the top. That is what we are about. It is a community centre, and that's what we should be fighting for if they're doing the right thing. Sandal, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bindon. Our next speaker is Anita Lewis, speaking remotely on the same item, CCL 00326, COM 00326, the Ken Rosewall Tennis Centre Management Agreement. Anita, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. This is Mayor Elise Borg. Please go ahead with your address.
Thank you. So good evening, Mayor and Georges River councillors. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I am here because, as like everyone else, we all care deeply about community sport and the future of Ken Rosewall Tennis Centre. Ken Rosewall isn't just a tennis centre. It's a place where children pick up a racket for the first time, where families gather on weekends, and where lifelong friendships are formed. Across New South Wales, we've seen many local tennis centres transition to large corporate operators. While those organizations may offer scale and marketing power, we must ask ourselves, what is the true purpose of this centre? Is it simply to maximize revenue, or is it to maximize participation, development, and community well-being? Under the stewardship of Sandor Platy, Ken Rosewall has remained community-focused. Programs have prioritized junior development, accessibility, and local engagement. Parents know their coaches, players feel supported, school and clubs have built long-standing relationships. That kind of trust cannot be tendered or transferred overnight. A corporate operator may offer efficiency, but will court hire fees rise? Will community access be protected during peak commercial time? Will grassroots programs be safeguarded if they're less profitable than high performance of private bookings? These are not just abstract concerns. They are real questions that deserve transparent answer. With the name Ken Rossell and his legacy, this should be honored as a community-based center that reflects opportunity and inclusion. Let's work towards strengthening what we already have rather than replace trusted local management with a model that may prioritize profit over people. Tonight, I respectfully urge Mayor and members of Georges River Council to prioritize long-term community benefit over short-term commercial appeal. Let's ensure Ken Rossell Tennis Center remains in trusted, community-focused hands and continues to serve families, junior tennis player and future generation under the stewardship of Sander Platy. I would like to thank for your time and for your enormous commitment to your community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. Our next speaker is David Orton, speaking also remotely on the same item, CCL 00326, COM 00326, Ken Rosewell Tennis Centre Management Agreement.
Hi there.
Hi, Mr. Orton, this is Mary-Lise Borg. You are now connected to the Public Forum Live. Please go ahead with your address.
Thank you so much. I'd like to thank the council members for this opportunity to speak today. I'm speaking today against the recent report. I'm also speaking to voice my support for Sander Platy and Evolution Tennis being awarded the management agreement, and to share my thoughts on the fantastic job Evolution Tennis have done running the centre. Firstly, I believe that community impact should have been a key criteria considered by the evaluation panel. Upon reviewing the selection criteria, I noticed that this was absent from the criteria. Evolution Tennis has had a profound impact on my family and many others in the community. My daughter absolutely loves playing tennis with Evolution. She participates in squads, private lessons, and competitions. And through this, she has made numerous friends. My partner and I have also formed connections with other families, and it's become routine for us to catch up at the tennis centre on the weekend for a hit of tennis or a barbecue. The kids also often organise their own activities together, and my daughter has formed some very close friendships through her involvement with Evolution. It's rare to find a tennis centre with such a strong sense of community. The friendships and connections forged there are invaluable, and it would be a massive loss to the area if the management agreement is not awarded to Evolution. As someone who has played tennis most of my life, I've not seen another centre like Ken Rosewell Centre managed by Evolution, which has such a great atmosphere and such a great community. You'll often see families gathering at barbecues while having a hit of tennis. I've seen some tennis centres mired in politics and toxic behaviour, but I've seen none of that at the Ken Rosewell Tennis Centre. Sander's actions continually bring people together and discourage poor behaviour. As a result, the kids behave very well on the courts and display great sportsmanship in competitions. They are a credit to the environment Sander and his team have created. Finally, I'd like to say that having such a strong sense of community around the centre is fantastic for the game of tennis and only increases the chance that a future tennis champion will come from the Georges River area. Thank you for considering my perspective today.
Thank you, Mr. Orton. Our next speaker is Graham Ross, speaking in person on the same item, CCL 00326, COM 00326, Ken Rosewell Tennis Centre Management Agreement. Please go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Graham Ross. I'm the current president of the Illawarra Suburbs Lawn Tennis Association Junior Branch. Junior Branch is a non-profit association run by volunteers, providing junior tennis players and coaches with the opportunity to participate in organised Saturday morning competitions throughout the St George and Sutherland Shire areas. We are currently the largest single junior tennis competition for this region. Our association offers a structured, health and safe environment for young players to compete in a well-organised and professional administered competition. One of our long-standing and valued coaches is Mr. Sandor Plath, sole managing director of Evolution, trading as Evolution Tennis. Sandor currently holds a lease at Ken Rosewell Tennis Centre at Roberts Avenue, Mortdale. Junior Branch has maintained a close and productive affiliation with Sandor at the Ken Rosewell Tennis Centre for many years. The complex is home to our premier junior grade competition where the top 30 junior players in the area compete in a team-based format each Saturday morning. This competition represents the highest standard of junior tennis teams in our district. A significant number of Sandor's junior players have achieved the highest rankings in our competition and have won numerous premier grade titles. Importantly, under Sandor's leadership, several of these former players have returned and contributed to the local tennis community coaches of the centre. This demonstrates a suitable pathway model for the strengths of the sport at the grassroots level. Evolution Tennis has consistently been one of the largest contributors of teams to junior branch competition. This commitment should not be understated. Saturday mornings are commercially viable coaching hours, yet Sandor continues to prioritise structured team competitions for juniors. That decision reflects a genuine investment in the community and sport rather than a purely commercial focus. The centre fields more competition teams across ISLTA events than any other tennis venue in the area. I observed continual improvements in presentation of the maintenance of the standard of the facility. What distinguishes Sandor mostly and clearly his direct and personal involvement. He is present at the venue. He is accessible to parents and players, answers the phone and addresses issues personally. Concerns are not filtered through remote systems or anonymous corporate structures. The decisions are made with a knowledge of families and the players and the history of the centre. That level of accountability and visibility is critical in junior sport. Sandor is an integral part of the community. He has grown up in the area, invested decades into local tennis, and built a long-term relationship with families and social groups. This continues to exist because the venue is managed with care, consistency, and community focus. Tennis, and particularly junior tennis, requires more than a court-hire programming. It requires commitment to players' development pathways and active sport of structured competition based on our direct experience with Junior Branch. Voyager has not fulfilled has not fielded junior tennis teams in the centres that we compete. The absence of participation raises legitimate concerns about whether grassroots tennis would be prioritised under their corporate management. Ken Rosewell Tennis is not merely a commercial asset, it is a community sporting hub with a long history and a strong identity. Replacing experienced community-based leadership with a large corporate operation risks shifting the emphasis from development and connection to financial performance and scale. Evolution Tennis is uniquely positioned to continue managing the facility in a manner that places players and families and community first. ISLTA Junior Branch strongly support the continuation of Sandor and the Evolution Tennis as the management of the Ken Rosewell Tennis Centre. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ross.
Sorry I spoke quickly.
That's okay. Our next speaker is a written submission from Catherine Ford on NM00226, State Significant Development.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Councillors, for allowing me to speak on Councillor Jamison's motion regarding state significant developments. I support the notice of motion and would urge the New South Wales Government to involve councils and local communities in the approval process where applicants submit up to 20-storey developments to the government as state significant development, even though they are well above surrounding buildings and are completely out of character with the area they are intending to build in. One example is the redevelopment of the Mortdale RSL. For many years, this RSL has submitted planning proposals to council that are completely out of character with the suburb of Mortdale and the surrounding area. Towers up to 45 metres in height have been refused, not only by council's expert planning staff, but by the local planning panel experts as well. But here we are now where I understand the Mortdale RSL has submitted their planning proposal, which may be even higher than when previously refused, to the New South Wales Government for assessment under state significant development. While I appreciate that the New South Wales Government is pushing to increase housing supply, the government must have meaningful discussions with local councils and hear the views of the local communities prior to assessing and determining any state significant developments up to 20 storeys high. For these reasons, I urge councillors at their meeting on 23 February 2026 to adopt Councillor Jamison's notice of motion on state significant developments. Catherine Ford.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Zi Jinsu or Charlene, and it's a written submission on NM00226 State Significant Development.
Good evening, councillors. My name is Charlene Sheen. I'm a local resident and I am here tonight because the proposed development at the Narwee pub site is a clear example of why the notice of motion is so vital for our community. The community is currently being presented with plans for a massive development at the Narwee pub site. While we understand the need for housing, the current proposal reaching up to 16 stories is a shock to our local infrastructure. From our community discussions, several critical issues have surfaced that we would like addressed. Traffic and pedestrian safety. We are already seeing significant congestion. Residents have noted that turning right out of the pub's car park is already dangerous. Adding hundreds of new residents will turn our local streets into a permanent gridlock. Infrastructure lag. As many residents have pointed out, we are seeing overdevelopment without a corresponding increase in school places, green space or hospital capacity. Lack of genuine consultation. During recent webinars, many of our specific questions, especially regarding height and traffic, went unanswered or were met with vague responses. It feels like a box-ticking exercise rather than a conversation. Support for the motion. This brings me to the motion before you tonight. The Narwee project is exactly the kind of state significant proposal that risks bypassing local voices. I strongly support the call for meaningful council involvement. The council knows our streets better than their state department. You need to understand that a 16-storey building in a suburb like Narwee has a cumulative impact that doesn't just stop at the property line. Extended consultation timeframes. The current 2-week window is a joke. It is impossible for the community to digest complex planning impacts, traffic reports and overshadowing data in 14 days. We need adequate time requested in this motion to assess the strategic planning impacts and infrastructure capacity. State government must not be allowed to steamroll local character and safety. We need a planning pathway that includes us, not one that excludes us. I urge the council to pass this motion and to continue fighting for the residents of Narwee and the wider Georges River area. We are not just dots on a map. We are a community that has to live with these decisions long after the developers have been built.
Thank you. Our next speaker is another written submission for Kim Wagstaff on NM00426 Cooks River Alliance.
This motion is all about reporting on the potential benefits that would come from GRC rejoining the Cooks River Alliance. It is one that perhaps should have been put forward quite some time ago. We believe it will reveal significant environmental benefits to Georges River Council and neighbouring LGAs arising from Council rejoining the organisation. The Director's comments also lend support to this motion. This motion is consistent with Council's Community Strategic Plan 2025 to 2035, Pillar 2, our green environment, in particular the following strategy to achieve our goal. Implement programs and activities to ensure that local bushland and waterways are healthy and biodiverse. This motion is also consistent with the vision contained within the Georges River Council's Environmental Resilience Action Plan 2022 to 2040. The Georges River Council is committed to protecting and enhancing the natural environment by reducing our impact and empowering others to do so. One only has to look at the significant environmental, financial and community benefits of GRC's membership of Georges Riverkeeper to see what these local catchment management type organisations can achieve. Our LGA and the Georges River are healthier and cleaner, financially better off by getting value for money from group membership, and the community is better informed and more knowledgeable through GRK's extensive awareness raising and educational programs. The final point to raise is that we believe with 23% of the Georges River Council's land area draining into the Cooks River catchment, Council has a responsibility to contribute to the management, maintenance and enhancement of the Cooks River by joining the Cooks River Alliance. So I urge you councillors to support this motion, calling for the preparation of a report, ASAP please, to outline the potential benefits of joining the Cooks River Alliance, which I expect will yield a recommendation to proceed. Thank you in advance, Kim Wagstaff, Oatley Flora and Fauna Conservation Society.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Peter Munro, speaking in person on NM00426 Cooks River Alliance.
My name is Peter Munro. I'm a life member and Vice President of the Cooks River Valley Association, an active community group that has for more than 70 years advocated for the Cooks River and its catchment. I'm also a foundation member of the Mud Crabs and Cooks River Eco Volunteers, a very large and active community group which for 20 years now has worked tirelessly to re-establish and restore the riparian zone vegetation of the Cooks River. I thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight, and I speak in strong support of the notice of motion that the Georges River Council join or rejoin the Cooks River Alliance. The current members of the Alliance are Bayside Council, Inner West Council, Canterbury Bankstown Council, Strathfield Council and Sydney Water. The most vital but often the most overlooked component of any river is its catchment. Any attempt to restore a river to good ecological health that ignores its catchment is doomed to failure. The core purpose of the Cooks River Alliance is to facilitate the management of the catchment of the Cooks River in a holistic and strategic manner, not piecemeal, LGA by LGA, community group by community group, incident by incident, but collectively with a shared vision and purpose. 23% of the Georges River LGA sits in the Cooks River catchment. By joining the Alliance, Council would be enhancing the capacity of the Alliance, bringing your local knowledge, resources, experience and skill to the vital and long-term environmental challenges facing the Cooks River and its catchment. The Alliance is currently well advanced in finalising a Coastal Catchment Management Plan, or CMP, for the Cooks River catchment. By joining the Alliance, the Georges River Council would unlock the potential to access the considerable state-level funding made available through the CMP when completed. Funds that could be used to address a range of issues like pollution, enhancement of natural resources, management and treatment of stormwater before it enters the river, litter reduction, and improved connectivity for pedestrian and bike users in the catchment. This is an opportunity for Georges River Council to gain maximum value for minimum output. I urge councillors to give serious consideration to joining the Cooks River Alliance, thereby combining council's experience, knowledge and skills with the catchment community, strengthening the resolve to address the complex and long-term challenges facing the Cooks River. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Munro. Our next speaker is Philip Anderson, speaking in person on NM00526, regulation of safety of e-bikes.
Good evening. My name is Philip Anderson. Thank you for allowing me to speak to this motion regarding e-bike safety. At the outset, I want to say I fully support the motion and hope you are successful in threatening the state and federal governments to introduce appropriate legislation and to enforce that legislation. I speak from the perspective of an e-bike rider. I've been a cyclist for many years and love the freedom it gives me. Few issues, however, with my heart took me off the road for some time, and that convinced me that the only way I was going to get back on the road was to get a bike that could assist me when my heart rate rose too far. In other words, it is a pedal-assisted e-bike, the only form that I believe should be allowed at the moment. If they're not pedal-assisted, they should be treated as a motorbike and subject to the rules governing motorbikes. I mention this because I would love to see more young and older people out riding and point out that I'm not opposed to e-bike riding per se, but only when the riding is conducted in a safe manner. The last thing I want to see are injuries or worse occurring due to a lack of knowledge, awareness of road rules, or overpowered bikes being ridden by riders with inadequate skills. And I guess that also means education training is required. Let me give you a couple of examples of issues that have arisen. Firstly, a friend of mine was riding his non-e-bike when he was knocked to the ground by a person on an out-of-control fat bike. My friend sustained a broken collarbone and had to postpone a more serious operation that he was about to have as a result. He was out of pocket considerably as the offending rider failed to stop, and there was no way to identify the other rider. Example two, I was walking home a couple of Thursdays ago, and I was on Lloyd Street in Oakley West when two young people on one bike, only one of whom was wearing a helmet, was doing wheelies along the wrong side of the road. So I called out to them, get on the right side of the road, and I continued walking. Unbeknown to me, the rider then turned around, came up and zoomed past me from behind me on the footpath. Now that could have been very dangerous. I then had to have stepped aside and both of us could have been quite seriously injured. The move was clearly designed to frighten me, and they thought it was a huge joke with a person on the back filming it as they rode past me. I guess a couple of other issues arise from these examples. One concerns the need for some form of licensing to be introduced so that perpetrators of dangerous riding or those involved in accidents may be identified. I also believe that licensing is feasible and should be introduced. I don't accept the remarks made by certain of our political leaders that it is too difficult. I belong to Bicycle New South Wales, which provides comprehensive insurance covers for members. This could possibly be done at the time of purchase. I believe that at the very least, riders should have some form of third-party insurance cover. And I repeat, I support the motion and hope that you're successful in putting additional pressure on the state and federal governments. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Our next speaker is Dr. Ben Bowser, speaking in person on NM 00626, Beverly Hills Master Plan.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, councillors, council officers. So I'm Dr. Ben Bowser. I'm president of Revive Beverly Hills, which is a community organisation seeking to improve and advance Beverly Hills. So I strongly support Councillor Wang's notice of motion tonight, NM 00626, regarding the Beverly Hills Master Plan. For too long, Beverly Hills has been the forgotten northern gateway of the Georges River Council. As the first entry point for many arriving from the M5 or King George's Road, its current state of dilapidation, marked by 9 business closures and rising vacancies, is a poor reflection on our entire LGA and is damaging our reputation across Sydney. This motion rightly highlights that the master plan's been delayed for around a decade. The residents and business owners of Beverly Hills cannot eat existing solutions or trade out of technical studies. We need immediate material change that this motion demands. Specifically, we must address the material change in our infrastructure. The move of the Sydney ethane pipeline has been repurposed to natural gas, as confirmed by the Department of Planning, Housing and Infrastructure. And this significantly reduces the risk profile of the area. And hopefully we can remove any reference to obsolete ethane risk in the local area. I remind you all that the movement of the Sydney ethane pipeline does run through Walleye Creek alongside another high-pressure natural gas pipeline in the footpath, right next to 21-storey buildings. And I remind you that the pipeline owner reports that the repurposed pipeline is even safer now, with a hazard ratio of about 1 in 1 billion years, or approximately 0. Councillor Wang's motion provides the specific directive needed that we need to ensure to remove the density caps and height restrictions in the 200 to 400 metre zone either side of the gas pipeline, to reinstate properties in the town centre that were previously excluded, and to align flood management with state standards to ensure mitigations measures enable rather than prohibit the density that this precinct desperately needs. So Beverly Hills is the only area combining the M5, King George's Road, and a quadruplicated rail line. It's a transit-oriented precinct with immense potential. We cannot allow continuing decline while we wait for reports that have already been delayed by years. It is time to revitalise our gateway and meet our state housing targets. I urge you all to support Councillor Wang's motion and give Beverly Hills the future it deserves. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bowser. Our next speaker is David Fletcher. It's a written submission on NM 00626, Beverly Hills Master Plan.
Good evening, Mayor and councillors. My name is David Fletcher and I am a long-term resident of Beverly Hills. I'm speaking tonight because our town centre cannot afford any more delays. The Beverly Hills Master Plan is not just a planning document, it is the future of the Beverly Hills community. For more than a decade, we have been talking about revitalisation. In that time, we've watched shops close, vacancies increase and confidence decline. 9 local businesses have ceased trading. Empty shop fronts send a message, not just to potential operators, but to residents, that our centre is standing still while other suburbs move forward. Beverly Hills has extraordinary potential. We have a train station, strong transport links, established community facilities, and a proud history. But potential without action becomes stagnation. The longer the master plan remains unfinished, the harder it becomes to reverse the perception that our town centre is in decline. The delays materialise from the ethane and methane pipeline risk assessments. Council's updated methane pipeline hazard analysis now is clear that Beverly Hills has the capacity to become one of the highest density suburbs in the LGA without risk to residents or the pipeline infrastructure. Similarly, Beverly Hills is not subject to the kind of widespread flooding experienced in places such as Lismore or the Hawkesbury. Lismore's flooding is devastating. Using that example as a reference for Beverly Hills is disproportionate. Beverly Hills revitalisation is manageable through standard planning controls, as they were in the 2020 Beverly Hills Master Plan. We are told the technical work is well advanced. If that is the case, then now is the time to bring the master plan forward, place it on exhibition, and give the community certainty. Certainty matters. Businesses need it before they invest. Property owners need it before they upgrade. And residents need it so we can see what our suburb will look like in 10, 20, 30 years. Without an adopted plan, we remain in limbo. Limbo discourages renewal. Limbo erodes confidence. Limbo costs jobs and opportunity. This is not just about housing numbers, it is about creating a vibrant main street, safer pedestrian areas and better public spaces, and a mix of homes that allow young people, families and older residents to stay in the community they love. Other centres across Sydney are transforming because they have clear adopted plans guiding growth. Beverly Hills deserves the same level of commitment. Tonight, I ask Council to prioritise finalising and exhibiting the master plan without further unnecessary delay. Provide a clear timeline, demonstrate to residents and businesses that revitalisation is not just an aspiration, it is an active, urgent priority. If Council does not have the will or motivation to deliver the master plan urgently, then it is time to hand the project to a state-led pathway. This would allow the appropriate holistic approach to revitalisation, integrating housing, infrastructure and public domain improvements, and ensure that Beverly Hills finally receives the coordinated upgrade our community has been waiting for. We are ready for renewal. Our community is ready for confidence to return. Please give Beverly Hills the plan it has been waiting for.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Betty Lee, speaking in person on NM 00726, Public Notice Development Application Status, Carlton, DA 2019-0644. Betty?
Yeah. Good evening, councillors and community members. My name is Betty. I'm the speaker regarding DA 2019/0644. This matter concerns a fundamental breach of the Land Environment Court orders. The court approval expressly required the retention of the roof and external works. Instead, the developer demolished them. Council has successfully prosecuted this breach, confirming it was unlawful. But the fine does not fix the planning reality. Retention is not a reconstruction. The foundation of the original consent was the preservation of the building. Once that building was destroyed, the consent logically ceased to exist. You cannot rebuild a fake wall and claim it is the same heritage building. It is now a new build. And in this R2 low density residential zone, a place of public worship is a prohibited use. This legal deadlock is why we support the motion for dedicated web page and public forum. The community is confused. We are being told the use is permissible. Yet the zoning says it is prohibited. We are told the site will be strictly managed. Yet the developer has already ignored court orders to retain the building. We need a public forum to ask if they ignore the court order to save the roof. Why will they obey the court order to limit capacity to 20 people? We need a dedicated web page to act as a single source of truth, clarifying whether the council will uphold the R2 zoning or allow walk-only application to bypass it. This is not special treatment. It is necessary transparency, the law of the law. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lee. Our next speaker is Rosalind Magro, speaking in person on NM 00726, Public Notice Development Application Status, Carlton, DA 2019-0644.
Good evening. My name is Rosalind Magro. I'd like to thank the committee and the council for letting me speak tonight. First of all, we've been fighting this for years, as council knows. They're not obeying by the law of the courts, as you know as well. They come to the site. They use their trucks to move dirt out of there. To me, that is working on site. I have reported to council. I have sent photos to council. For some reason, it still goes on right up till today. They were there, and weekends as well. I think it's wrong that we put a lot of fight into this. The community at Botany Street and Allawa and Carlton from day one. I think it's wrong that we got done over. I think we got done over. I appeared in the court. A lot of the residents did on the day, which for me, it was a waste of time. Because what was said in the court by the councillors, Barrister and that, I'm sorry. Really, R2 zone, if you come and have a look, Botany Street, you'll see where it is on the corner. There's a big school and it's only housing, small housing. That's all it is. And that's where I think it's wrong that it has put there. They seem to want to do what they want to do anyway. They've taken down walls. Yes, it's gone to council and it's gone further. But they keep on doing these things, but nothing gets done about it. The court said these walls have got to stay up. And whatever else they have pulled down is supposed to stay there. Not to pull the whole lot down is what they're wanting to do now. They're wanting to pull it all down now. So does that mean a new DDA goes in? Therefore, a new DA goes in an R2 zone. It should not be a public place of worship. The thing is too, the community, we are the ones that are watching that place. I'm sorry, council is not watching that place. If you have a look at the amount of stuff that gets sent into here, phone calls that get sent in here is ridiculous. When this all comes about, is council got to start looking after this place, going and checking on the place? 20 people are only allowed to be there on worship time. No weddings, no funerals, no nothing. Only 20 worships at one time are allowed to be in this place. So I'm hoping if and when this place does come there, I hope council do step up to the plate and look over the place and make sure things are getting done properly for the residents, because of 60 years where I live, I've paid my rates. And so has a lot of the other people. Thank you for your time. I do appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Magro. Our last speaker is Ji Chin, speaking remotely on NM 00726, Public Notice Development Application Status, Carlton, DA 2019-0644. Is Ji Chen there?
It's ringing.
Just ringing. Hello, is that G Chen?
Yes.
Hi, G. This is
Hello.
Nathan Eastborg. You are now connected live to the public forum of Georges River Council.
Oh, yeah.
You have 3 minutes
Yeah.
to address the meeting. Please go ahead.
Oh, cool. All right. Thank you so much. Good evening, councillors, mayor, and everyone in the meeting room. So sorry I cannot be there in person. I'd like to talk regarding DA 2019-0644. I know the court has found the developer for the illegal demolish. I'm here to ask the council to keep the site closed indefinitely. And my reasons are based on the following. The first of all, that's the loss of the original DA basis. The original approval was based on keeping the existing building. Since the developer illegally destroyed it, the entire foundation of the DA is gone. We believe the council should not allow any construction to start again under these broken conditions. And then secondly, the site closure for investigation. We asked for a close of the site until a full transparent investigation is finished. The community has lost all trust in this developer. We cannot allow them to enter the site until the council provides a clear public plan on how they will be monitored. And the third one is the regular public reporting. During the investigation and stop work period, the community must be kept informed. We demand regular, transparent reports from the council. We need to know exactly what the council is doing to hold the developer accountable. So all in all, we think fines are not enough to fix the damage to our residential area. We ask the council to protect our neighborhood by stopping this project indefinitely and ensuring total transparency for the public. So finally, regarding the developer's illegal actions, my other question is about, has the council considered to withdraw the DA entirely? I think that's all from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Chen. And that is the final speaker in the public forum tonight. So I will declare this public forum closed at 6:52 p.m. Thank you, councillors and staff and members of the gallery for attending tonight's public forum. If you would like to attend next week's council meeting, meeting starts at 7 o'clock and you can join as you are now tonight in the public gallery, or you can join by the audio of the broadcast link from home. And that's where councillors will debate the items that you have addressed us on tonight and make our decisions. So thank you for your attendance tonight.